the market for a new keyboard, and I really wanted a mechanical keyboard, but at a good price. Some friends of mine recommended the Keychron brand of keyboards. They look good and have been getting pretty good reviews online, so I decided to go for it and buy one. My use case for this keyboard is mainly coding and also typing scripts for my videos. There will be no gaming done on this keyboard. Let me talk about the requirements that I wanted for a new keyboard. Obviously, it must be mechanical. I also wanted a smaller profile than my current cheap Staples keyboard. The keys needed the option to be backlit, but didn't have to be RGB. Bluetooth also had to be included, with the addition to disable it and use USB if necessary. There also needed to be a dedicated row for function keys. And finally, a number pad was a must. The keyboard that fit all those needs was the Keychron K4 version 2. It starts off at $69 and can cost up to $99 if you want RGB lighting, an aluminum frame, and hot swappable switches. Hot swappable switches allow you to change switches without the need to solder. The site also gives you a choice of red, blue, or brown Gatoron switches. I got mine with brown Gatoron switches, RGB lighting, and aluminum frame. I chose the brown switches because I wanted something similar to how the keys felt on my DaVinci Resolve speed editor, and the brown ones were the ones that felt the closest to it. To test switches before buying them, I borrowed a keyboard switch tester from a friend. It ultimately helped me determine to choose the brown switches. So I made the order and also included a wooden palm rest. I'll warn you now that you're going to want a palm rest for this keyboard. I'll elaborate later in the video. The price of the keyboard came out to $89 because I chose RGB and the aluminum frame, and the palm rest was an extra $28. When you include shipping, which was $20, the total came out to $137. So the keyboard arrived, and in the box, you get this quick start guide, the keyboard itself, a manual, a USB-C cable with one end using USB-A, a keycap remover, and extra keycaps to help you change some Mac and Windows specific keys. Let me see how the keyboard feels now. The keys feel really good. Not exactly the same as the keys on my Resolve speed editor, but they are very comfortable to type in. I also like that I don't have to put as much force into typing than my previous keyboard, making the Keychron feel much more responsive. It's nice that it's not overly clicky like other switches I tested. Hear the keys for yourself. When holding the keyboard, you feel a good bit of weight to it, which makes it feel sturdy and durable. The aluminum frame also feels good and smooth. So here's a closer look at the keyboard layout. You have the function keys at the top, and when you hit the FN key, they also act as media keys and other OS specific functions. We also have the number pad to the side. On the right side of the keyboard, you have a USB-C port for charging and for using the keyboard on your PC over USB, a Windows/Mac OS switch, and a switch to choose between Bluetooth and USB modes, or to turn off the keyboard. The keyboard does auto turn off, so you are not required to use the switch to turn it off. At the bottom of the keyboard, you have some rubber feet towards each corner to help keep the keyboard in place, and extra feet to give you 2 more angles for an incline. By default, there is a Mac button layout for the keys to the left and right side of the spacebar. I want to replace these Mac specific keys with the included keycaps that will give the keyboard a Windows layout. Just note that instead of an actual Windows logo key, they included this key, which has what looks like 2 computers. I'm assuming to actually use a Windows logo, you'll have to get a license from Microsoft. If you really want a Windows logo key, you can always purchase a third-party cap from somewhere else. Let me show you a size comparison with my previous full-size keyboard. As you can see, the Keychron offers much more desk space than my previous keyboard. This makes it easier for me to work with the Keychron and the DaVinci Resolve speed editor at the same time. So I'll now remove the Mac OS keys. I'll take the keycap remover and remove the right command key. You can clearly see the brown Gatoron switch when the key is removed. And I'll replace it with an Alt key. Then, on the other side of the keyboard, I'll replace the Option key with a custom Windows key. And replace the left command key with another Alt key. I'll test pressing the keys, and they feel great. The final key I'm going to replace is the backlight key on the top right because I really like the orange color of the replacement keycap. I'll test the RGB key now by turning down my lights. And it works. With the backlight, you have the ability to change its brightness and the type of RGB effect you want. There are 15 different RGB effects. I'll cycle through some. My favorite RGB setting is this one. Unfortunately, these effects are hard-coded and there is no software to add more effects. There are some cool features to this keyboard. You can use it in either wired or wireless mode, so if your computer does not have Bluetooth, you won't be out of luck. Just make sure you set the wire/wireless switch to the correct mode. In wireless mode, you can sync it to 3 different devices. This is very convenient if you work with multiple machines next to each other and need to quickly switch between them. Switching is as easy as hitting the FN key and 1 for the first device, FN and 2 for the second, and FN and 3 for the third device. As far as battery life is concerned, I certainly have no complaints. The keyboard has a 4000 milliamp hour battery, and Keychron says you can get 240 hours of battery life with the backlight off. And with the RGB lights on, you can get around 72 hours of battery life, but that can change depending on your RGB usage. I don't have any exact battery measurements, but after fully charging the keyboard and using it for over a week, I've yet to run out of battery life. This included a full work week, which I will be using the keyboard for over 8 hours a day. So let me talk about the downsides of the Keychron K4. A palm rest is pretty much a must for this keyboard because it's a bit on the tall side, which can put your palms at an uncomfortable angle while typing. The optional palm rest completely fixes this issue and makes typing very comfortable. And I really like the look and feel of the wooden palm rest too. Another problem you might have with the keyboard is that when the backlight is turned off, some of the key labels are hard to see depending on your lighting situation. Not a problem if you're a touch typist, but it can still make keys like the delete, home, and end keys harder to get used to. Oh, and to elaborate further on those keys, since the keyboard uses less space than a standard full-size keyboard, it will take some time getting used to the positions of some of the keys, especially those delete, home, and end keys. Your muscle memory will definitely need to get adjusted. You will also find yourself accidentally hitting the right arrow key when you're trying to type a 0 on the numpad, since on a full-size keyboard, the 0 key is longer. Getting used to new key placements is something that you will experience with any keyboard that is more compact. So it's an issue you will encounter with any keyboard regardless of brand. So overall, I really like this keyboard. Typing on it feels a lot better than my previous cheapo Staples keyboard, as long as you have the palm rest. I strongly recommend you get the Keychron palm rest along with the keyboard, even though you can probably find another palm rest for cheaper, but you'll have to do some searching to have one that matches the size of the Keychron. Do you have a Keychron or any other mechanical keyboard? Let me know in the description. I would love to hear the opinions of others regarding mechanical keyboards. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. And if you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button and its bell icon so you can get notified of future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.